What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Pro Football Show. I'm your host, Juice, and today we're going to be talking about the NFC West. This division is, I think, a good division. It's going to be a tough battle this year. There's some good teams in this division. It's definitely one of the better ones in the NFC, which isn't, that's not hard to be this year, but I do like this division a lot, and there's a couple good teams I think can make the playoffs and do some damage this year. So make sure you like and subscribe, and let's just jump right into it. Coming in fourth place is the obvious. I think everyone will probably have his team here. I think most people have this team ranked as the worst team in all of the NFL. They got a lot going on. So that's going to be the Arizona Cardinals. This team is, they just let D-Hop go, got nothing out of him. It's just this. I'm not sure they know what they want to be. I didn't particularly like the hire Jonathan Gannon as their head coach. I'll be interested to see coming next year in the draft, because I'm sure they're going to have the number one overall pick, and they also have the Texans pick, so they'll be able to do some stuff. But I'll be excited to see if they stick with Kyler Murray, or if they draft Caleb Williams. A lot of people consider him a generational talent. I think that guy is going to be a stud, but that's probably the most interesting thing about the Cardinals this year is what they're going to do this coming off season, to be honest. And then the other thing I'll be interested to see is if they trade Budda Baker, because I don't think he wants to play. I don't think he'll play for the Cardinals this year. That guy is super talented and deserves to go play somewhere where he can win some games. He's not going to do that at the Cardinals, so I'll be interested to see if he gets traded before the season starts here. And then coming in third, the Los Angeles Rams. They got a lot to figure out as well. This team's kind of in the last year. I know they had a lot of injuries and stuff, but they were not a good team. They released Floyd and Bobby Wagner, so their defense, they didn't get better, that's for sure. And they also traded Jalen Ramsey, so their defense definitely didn't get any better. But they obviously still have Aaron Donald on that defense, so that guy's a game wrecker. So that's still good. But yeah, they traded away some of their best players, or got rid of or cut some of their best players on that defensive side of the ball. And obviously on the offensive side of the ball, they'll have Matthew Stafford back, and then they'll have probably Cooper Kupp as well, so that'll help them out a lot. But yeah, I just think this team's got a lot to figure out this year. Obviously, Sean McVay's a great head coach. We all know that, but I just know they got a lot to do to get this thing figured out. So yeah, I think that's a good place for them. They're definitely not going to be worse than the Cardinals, that's for sure. So we'll see what they are. I don't see them doing much this year. So, and then coming in second, I have the Seattle Seahawks. The big question is, will Geno stay consistent? Will he be the quarterback we saw last year, or will he be the quarterback of old? But I think he improves this year. I think he does get better. I like Geno Smith. So I think he gets better. I think he gets better this year. Another year in that offense. So I like to see his improvement this year. But they obviously still have DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, great duo. And then they went out and drafted Jackson Smith and Jigba. So that's a huge add to this offense. That's three great receivers. It puts them in, I think Jackson Smith's going to be a guy. He was a guy at Ohio State when all those other guys were there. So I don't see how that possibly doesn't work out. So I think that's a good addition for them as well. And then they still have Kenneth Walker. I feel like people forget about Kenneth Walker. That guy was a stud last year, so I only see improvement in his game this year. So their offense is highly explosive. I'm not sure if they'll be able to compete with the 49ers. I know the 49ers kind of whooped them last year a little bit, especially in that playoff game. But dang, man, I think this team has a chance. Their defense, on their defensive side of the ball, they got Diggs, Adams, Woolen, and they drafted Witherspoon. I think is going to be a great corner in this league. So, their secondary is definitely dominant. They got a great secondary. I'll be excited to see Jamal Adams come back. So, and they also added Bobby Wagner back there at the linebacker position. So I think that's a huge add to the defense. Because I wouldn't say they had the greatest D-line. They struggle with stopping the run at times, so I think Bobby Wagner helps with that a little bit. But yeah, the defensive line's not the best. But we'll see, man. I think this team is good, and I think they do actually have a chance they could beat the 49ers for this division title. I like the Seahawks and what they did this offseason. I think they improved greatly. So the add of Jackson Smith, I think, is going to be the biggest piece they added this offseason, and I just really like that. I can't believe he fell to 20 to them. So they drafted pretty well. Their draft was really good this year. So except for they did pick a running back in the second round, which I thought was interesting, but they need some depth there, so I get it. But yeah, I do believe they actually do have a chance to win this division. So I think it's going to be a little bit more competitive this year for them and the 49ers. And then obviously coming in first place, I have the San Francisco 49ers. I'd say they're the second best team in the NFC overall. So I think they win this division. I do think Seattle can give them a scare, but I think they do end up winning. The big question they have is who's their quarterback going to be this year? When is Brock Purdy going to be back? What's Trey Lance, Sam Darnold, all these guys, We'll see. I'm not completely sold on Purdy either. Yeah, he had a great year last year, but can he replicate that and keep it going? Or is this elbow injury going to slow him down and take away some of that power he had? So I don't know. I'm not sold on him yet, so we'll see. Like I said, there's going to be 49ers have a lot to figure out at defense this year. All right, quarterback this year. So I think it'll be interesting to see how the season unfolds a little bit for them. But the one thing I didn't like about the 49ers is their players. Man, they just whined all offseason about the Eagles, and they should have been in the Super Bowl. They should have done this. They should have done that. It's just, for me, it's just annoying kind of that they just kept, that's all they did all season was whine. And there's even their head coach. So, man, just take it on the chin and move on. It happened, and let's just keep, you have another chance to make the Super Bowl. So stop crying about it and just do it, you have more than a good enough team to make a run this year. So, I mean, yeah, I just didn't really like that they did that all off season. But their offense is still, their offense is loaded. They got George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Ayuk, and McCaffrey. Man, there's just so many weapons on this offense. It's insane. I think I might even be able to line up back there at quarterback and play. Nah, I'm just kidding. I couldn't, but I think this offense is going to be dynamic as always. And then on the defensive side of the ball, they did add Javon Hargrave from the Eagles, who was a 10-plus sack guy last year. But my issue with that is they have a great defensive line already, and the problem is they have a hard time stopping the run at times. And Javon Hargrave is not the best run stopper, so he's a great add, obviously. This defensive line is going to get a crap ton of sacks this year, but yeah, they needed some help on run defense, I thought, but I don't know. And then they obviously still have Bosa, Armstead, all those boys on that defensive line is insane. Like, this team is so loaded, it's insane. I don't understand how they can keep all these guys, but they do. They figured it out. So, and they also have Fred Warner back up on the defense. So they are tough to beat, man. They're going to be a good team this year, per usual. So I did like their draft pick, Brown, the safety. I think he's going to be a good addition to that defense in the back. But the rest of their draft was just, it was okay. I understand, like, they drafted a kicker out of Michigan in the third round, which was mind-blowing to a lot of people. But, hey, you need a kicker, go get a good kicker if you think this guy's the guy, because it's not easy there's not a bunch of NFL kickers just lining up out there, so I guess it makes sense for them to do that. But it was just really early on in the draft. You probably could have got him way later, but I get it. When you fit a need. But yep. So that is my NFC West rankings. I think that the two dominant teams in this are going to be the 49ers and the Seahawks. I'm excited to see what the Seahawks are going to be this year. We already know what the 49ers are going to be. They're going to be dominant. So I'm excited to see what the Seahawks become. Does Geno Smith live up to what he did last year with the new weapons and I think they're an improved team, so I'll be excited to see what the Seahawks do this year. They were a playoff team last year, so let's hope they keep building on that and make this NFC a little bit better than what it was last year. So let me know down in the comments below what you think of this ranking. I think this is how it's going to go. I think I'm pretty accurate on this one. Yeah, but like I said, I think this is going to be a closer race than what people are giving it credit to be. I mean, the 49ers are great, but I think the Seahawks are good too. So, yeah, just let me know down in the comments what you think, and make sure you like and subscribe. And thanks for coming to hang out today, guys. Have a good one.